V-Union, a mysterious trademark that's been floating around since December. Well, not as mysterious anymore because now we know what it is. It's a brand new mechanic coming to the TCG. Now known to us through the reveal of these 3 cards, or should I say these 12 cards, because as you will notice, each individual card is actually made up of 4 regular size cards. The gimmick being that you can only play a V-Union card once all 4 cards that make it up are in the discard pile. The trade-off seemingly being that one Pokemon is going to take up 4 slots in your deck. Because each Pokemon is made up of 4 cards, there is the opportunity for different cards to present different Pokemon powers and attacks. So when you do finally get this 4-card Pokemon onto the field, it can have multiple attacks and multiple Pokemon powers playing off of each of its components. I don't know how playmats are going to adjust to accommodate these huge cards being placed on the bench, but we'll just have to wait and find out. TCG Online is definitely going to look different, probably going to have its own special programming for these new cards, assuming that they will be legal in competitive, because all we know about them so far is that they come in special promo decks that are pre-constructed, and no V-Union cards are really part of any sets as of now. Because, I mean, can you imagine the frustration of trying to pull 4 components of one card out of packs and just getting the same Mewtwo leg over and over again? It's got some heavy Exodia the Forbidden One vibes for sure. So let's start by looking at V-Union Greninja. Of course, it's got the special V-Union rule written right there on one of the cards. But you'll also notice that because of all of the combined cards, this Greninja has 3 abilities. Probing Foot can be relatively useful, though also extremely situational. Antidote Jutsu can prevent it from being poisoned, which, as far as I know, isn't a huge part of this metagame currently. And then Shinobi Body lets Greninja ignore effects done to it by item cards that your opponent plays. Nothing game-breaking across those 3 abilities, even when all used together, because they're not exactly synergistic. Its attacks, on the other hand, are a little more threatening, as it's got a form of energy acceleration, and then an attack that does spread damage, while the other one does high damage with a trapping effect, so there is some potential here. Notice too, just because I didn't mention them earlier, but you can only play 1 V-Union card per game. Now, there is some clarification needed here. Does that mean that if you have the 4 Greninja cards and the 4 Mewtwo cards, that you can do a V-Union Greninja and a V-Union Mewtwo in the same game, or is it limited to only 1 V-Union of any type per game? The wording in the translation makes it seem like you can play multiple V-Union Pokemon in the same deck, but we'll have to wait on a rule clarification there. The other thing is that when a V-Union Pokemon is knocked out, your opponent can take 3 prize cards, so it looks like the metagame is still going to be centered heavily on these 3 prize cards. Moving on to Zacian V-Union, which has 20 more HP than the Greninja, but has no Pokemon powers. Like Greninja, it does have an energy acceleration attack. It seems like Wise King's Dance can be extremely frustrating to have to go up against, considering how much it's going to damper your opponent's attacks each time you use it. But I can see the major draw of Zacian V-Union is going to be Master Blade, because that's definitely some OHKO damage you're looking at there. So it seems like the strategy is use Union Gain to get the metal energy onto Zacian, use Wise King's Dance to mitigate some damage being done to it, and then you're going to dive straight into Master Blade, take however many prize cards you're getting off of that attack, and then rinse and repeat until this card's knocked out. But by then, you've probably taken more than 3 prizes from knockouts on your opponent's side of the field, so you have a net gain here with this card. And then we have Mewtwo V-Union, which is probably not surprising that this is my favorite out of the 3, because my favorite card of all time is that Black Star promo Mewtwo. And this has a nice callback to that Mewtwo, in that it has that energy charge attack in Union Gain like the other 2 V-Union cards, and it's also got Final Burn as a nod to Psyburn. Not as powerful as Zacian's big move, but you don't have to discard any energy. On top of that, you have the ability Photon Barrier, which is preventing all effects of attacks, except for damage, done to Mewtwo V Union. It also has Super Recovery, which is going to heal 200 damage, again, without making you discard any energy, and Psysplosion, in which you're going to put 16 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like, which is pure disruption. You can use this to cause all kinds of second guessing on your opponent's side of the field. So multiple playstyles all stacked into one card without seeming too jumbled or messy like their Greninja V Union kind of feels. Of the three, I definitely think that Greninja's going to see the least amount of play and that Zacian is probably going to see the most, just from the potential I'm eyeballing here. Of course, I don't have too tight of a grasp on the current metagame anyway, let alone the upcoming metagame, if these cards are even incorporated into it or if they just stay as unique promos. But this isn't the first time the TCG has seen these combination cards before. Back in the Heart Gold, Soul Silver era, we did have some combo cards that used two in the form of the Legend cards like Lugia Legend, or even the Suicune and Entei Legend that even had two different Pokemon on the same card. Almost like a prototype of the tag team cards that we saw a couple years ago. Speaking of which, this may be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like this V Union gimmick is actually the tag team style card done right. If you're gonna have a card that is gonna be a 3-prize Pokemon, at least require a little bit of strategy and work to be put into it. So the V Union mechanic of having to get all 4 cards in your discard is a nice little touch. It's not difficult to get those 4 into your discard, but it's something. I mean, you're having to commit 4 card slots in your 60 card deck to a single Pokemon on top of any supporters or item cards that you're needing to use in order to get them into the discard. I've already seen a ton of dissension within the TCG community already, but I tend to disagree with that. I oddly like this as a gimmick. I like it even more than V cards or V Max cards. I think that this is fun. Just the feeling of getting all 4 of these cards into your discard and then basically summoning it Exodia style onto your bench. This giant card that's 4 times bigger than any other cards that's somehow fitting onto your bench. That's the style of stupid, overpowered fun I like. I don't like someone turn 1 just laying down a Pokemon that's got 260 HP just because they got it in their opening hand. Because we'll also be getting the promo supporter Professor Burnett, which lets you search your deck for 2 cards and discard them. So it is still going to be pretty easy, but it's not like when Battle Compressor was around and you could just get whatever you wanted straight out of your deck and into your discard. I think V Union is tag team done right. I think this justifies a 3-prize Pokemon. And even if they do stay just as promo cards, which I highly doubt, I think this will be a big gimmick in upcoming sets. But even if they do stay as promos, I think this is still a unique, fun new playstyle to base decks around. So I'm still not super happy about the metagame leaning so heavy towards these 3-prize Pokemon. But from a gameplay perspective, I like it. But man, just look at those artworks. From a collector's perspective, I fucking love it. Instead of just presenting 1 jumbo card, there's 4 cards to collect to form up into a jumbo card Voltron. It's marketing genius on behalf of the Pokemon Company, which I was just dragging through the mud because of their stupid dragon type takeaway and then re-reveal. But I want to hear what you guys have to say about your thoughts regarding these V Union cards and the way they were revealed. I will leave you with one prediction since E3 is coming up. I think with Zacian's popularity, I think it's going to be the next Pokemon in Smash. Not only that, I think that Zacian is going to get a Shadow Fighter, which is going to be a Matarasu from Okami. So you can also chuck in your thoughts on that down in the comments. I'll see you next video. Bye.